and the people that give us spots like don't know you from a can of paint. You just send them a message. You just cold sending emails or text messages, or not even text messages, but DMs or whatever, and they respond to it. Yeah, shout out to those people.
Well, yeah, especially. I mean, and this again going back to Ronaldo. Ronaldo was like, hit this dude up, tell him I vouch for you. And so I would, hey, Matt, I'm Eric. I'm from St. Louis. Yep. Ronaldo said I should hit you up.
I got the same message.
And I was like, I'll send you a video if you'd like. And he was like, no video necessary. If Ronaldo says you're good, you're good. And I'm like,
I got none of that. It was like, fuck Ronaldo, send 3 videos. I was like, oh, Jesus.
And 2 headshots.
2 headshots.
And 6 credits.
Right.
And you're like, all right.
And 2 more referrals.
Yeah.
It was like getting a job at TSA. I was like, oh, my God. I was like, yeah, give me your last work history. I was like, I was going to text Theo. I was like, hey, can you help me out?
we need a birth certificate. Yeah. We need a copy of your real ID.
Your mother's maiden name, blood type. I was like, oh, God. So, yeah, like I said, I've hit up several people, and, like, none of them was hitting back but those few people that hit back. And I was so grateful that, not only that, because I wanted to not completely fill up the whole weekend that I was there, but, got a spot at the Creek in the Cave. I got just 2 paid shows, and like how many times did you count how many times you got up?
From Tuesday when I got there until Friday or whatever was 12 times.
Nice.
And then like two of them were paid shows.
Yeah.
And then I did another 2 spots on that Sunday.
Dope.
So I got 14 times.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
I've always wanted that because, you always hear about, like, some of my favorite comics, I listened to them talk about what it was like when they were, like, starting out.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we do this spot, and then we would run across town and do this and do this and do this. In St. Louis, you can do multiple spots in a night, but it's like...
You got to time it.
You do a spot, then you drive 10 minutes, then you do a spot, then you drive 20 minutes and do a spot. You know what I mean? And in Austin, it's literally...
You park, you get to walk from spot for spot.
You do a spot, you run across the street, up the stairs, do a spot, run across the street, down into a basement, do a spot. So that was cool. I liked getting that experience of it.
Because you would actually, when you first start, you watch all the documentaries and hear everybody talking about it. Like, did you see The Comedian? With Jerry Seinfeld,
yeah.
And then, there was bringing out... Oh, actually, no, it's called... not that one, but When Comedy Stood Out.
Mm-hmm.
So when you would hear those guys talking about... They would go do a spot over here and do a spot over here. And even when the other documentaries, when Chappelle talked about in New York, you can get up like damn near 20-something times. Maybe that's exaggeration. But, however, I don't know. I mean, you probably get up, but to actually have that experience... And you also learning and getting better and faster... at a faster rate, because then you could turn a bit around that much and work it. You can work it that night, whereas like, all right, some spots you sit, in some areas you probably have to sit on a bit for a week or 2 before you even get to work it out again, because God forbid you didn't make the list, you got bumped, or the comedy guys wasn't blessing you with that week or whatever, so you have to come back. Whereas in, Austin, be like, oh, well, I have 4 hours to wait to get on this list. I can go ahead and do this spot and do this spot here and do that spot there. So, I definitely think that people could get better at the faster rate. And I was really, really cool to actually witness that and be part of that. I really enjoyed the scene. For the first visit, I really enjoyed it. I really had a fun time. What you think about Banana Phone show?
I didn't get to see it. I wanted to. So that night, all the guys I was with the bachelor party with, They bought tickets to go see the showcase at the Mothership, and then to go see the I forgot who was headlining in the big room, but they did both shows back to back. So I went and I watched the showcase, and then I bounced out, went to go do Wild Card.
Yeah,
and then they had the tickets and their phones are locked up. So when I was done, I was like, well, I'll just wait until they're done with the show, and then I'll meet up with them again. So I went over to Creek, and I was like, oh, Banana Phone's about to start. I was excited. I was waiting. And right as it's about to start, they're like, hey, we're done. If you want to come back. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go and watch that.
For the people before, like, if I would listen to this podcast before going to Austin, I had no clue what Banana Phone is. Would you like to describe to the people that never been or don't know what Banana Phone Myke is?
It's just chaos. It's not a showcase. It's more of an open mic, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a slaughter.
But like, you get up there, and I think it's 1 minute.
You get 1 minute.
And people are encouraged to just heckle you.
You could do your minute. I don't know if it's interrupted, but you do get 1 minute, and then for the next 5 or 10 minutes, they get the shit on you.
Oh.
And they wait sometimes more than 10 minutes to get a button, and then they'll move on to the next comic. Where I coined it, I was like, oh, so this is Kill Tony without being at Madison Square Garden. This is Kill Tony without the possibility of getting on SNL.
Great value, Kill Tony. Yeah. But apparently, Ronaldo was excited for it, and he was like, last week,
he loves
I may have gotten a little out of control.
He was belligerently drunk.
Yeah.
He was belligerently drunk, and he was and it was like, because we've already been out all day doing mics and whatnot, and he was like, and I was like, I'm grown as fuck, and I'm like old. I was like, it's 11 o'clock. He's like, and he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna stay much. He ended up staying for the whole show. And back to what you said about, maybe being too old for this vibe, bro. That was the first time since maybe back when I was doing drugs in fucking college. I would leave the house at 7 and not get back till like 3 a.m. Like every night. Like, this is messing with my steps. I'm not getting my sleep. I miss my wife.
There were several days where I was up for more than 24 hours.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And not even on cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm not doing drugs.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do.
You definitely get wired.
When I left my house Tuesday at 4 a.m. and then I get to Austin at 6, and then we went out and we did set after set after set, and then we went and got breakfast at IHOP, and then we watched someone get hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got back to his house, it was already almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And then Ronaldo and I stayed up and watched, we watched the Pablo Francisco meltdown, which I think every time I hang out with a comic, it's like, do you want to watch the Pablo Francisco? Because all week long, every time I was bombing, I would look at Ronaldo and be like, you think I can't pull out of this? Like that. What's that, sir? That's
funny. Speaking of Pablo, my guy, Dave Yates?
Yeah.
Shout out. He's working with Pablo this weekend.
Oh,
that's my word. In a world.
I think that every comic, if you're thinking about doing comedy, you need to watch Pablo Francisco's Comedy Central Presents, his half hour.
Okay.
And then immediately watch his meltdown.
Yeah.
You need to watch both of them back to back and be like, look, it can go like this or it can go like this.
Yep.
And to be honest, you're going to get more of this than you are of this. Like,
same guy, same career,
guy, same material,
same career, same material, and and that's how it was. Because I always feel like when I'm doing bits in different cities, it's always fun to see. It's like going to a different college to see which credits transfer over.
Yeah,
especially if you have a bit that's really Midwestern, you shouldn't do it. But it's also be like, if I could change a couple of the wording or whatever, but to get that and go down there and be like, oh, these bits are universal.
Yeah.
These bits are universal. And it was always really good to go down there and actually do some shows and be like, oh, they get my humor.
Yeah.
They get my humor. Where people have that preconceived notion like, oh, it's the Kill Tony crowd, or they have you got to be like Shane Gillis. No. Funny is funny.
Yeah.
And I really felt like that was cool because people were really open to taking, and the people that, responded to us and be like, yeah, come get your spot. And those are people that actually get comedy.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really fun. Definitely going back and calling Callan.
I'm going back and I'm going to hit up some people. Like I met Lemaire when he was here in St. Louis. Working at Helium.
Yeah.
And we went out to Gramophone and got sandwiches and stuff. Yeah. A very cool guy, very cool hang. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I didn't know who he was when I met him.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you just meet a comic and you're like, oh, what's up? How are you? Cool. And then, you just bond or whatever. And then later I was talking to somebody and I was like, yeah, I was hanging out with this dude named Lemaire. And people were like, Lemaire? Like Lemaire Lee, and I'm like, yeah. Well. Actually, we were at Gramophone, and people came up to our table.
Oh,
and they're like, "Are you Lemaire?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What are you doing in town?" And he's like,
eating
"Shows."
sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I heard Gramophone's great. I came to St. Louis for the sandwiches.
Like, I'm sitting there, and I was looking at him, and I wanted to be like,
"Who are you?
How do people know you?" Like that. But I was like, all right. But he told me, he was like, "You ever come to Austin, hit me up." And I did, but he was out of town doing shows.
Of course.
And then he was like, "Next time you come, for sure."
Yeah.
Whatever. And
that's the phrase. Next time.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Next time, let me know.
Next time is the phrase. So get used to that. You know. And I wasn't going to any shows that I didn't have. I was like, because it was. And shout out to Jeremy Scipio. He actually said, when you get there to Austin, once they see you perform, you'll be able to get more spots.
Yeah.
Whereas I was trying to fill up every day, every minute with spots. Where it's like you want to be sure you go to Creek and the Cave, which is kind of like the store, and you want to go to the Mothership, and you want to go to Vulcan. But far as that, and maybe Roscoe's, I didn't go there for show. I saw the mic that y'all did, but he said those are 3 or 4 spots that you should definitely worry about hanging out at. But I was like, I need to fill up the schedule.
Yeah.
I bought tickets. You know, I bought a plane ticket. I don't want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Dude, we went to Roscoe's and we did the open mic.
Yeah,
and
I was there.
We were the oh, you were?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
You guys closed out the mic.
Yeah, it was.
And the sign up was at 5 p.m. You sent me the link.
The sign up was at 5 p.m.
Yeah,
and I think I was I might have been the last person or the second to last person.
You were second to last because before you was old boy with the motorcycle that we rode with.
Yeah, Spencer,
yeah,
not Spencer. Lucas Hinderleiter. And Lucas, then me, then Ronaldo. But
you know what? There was
the
one
guy
other guy
right before me,
the magician looking guy.
Oh,
the
yeah.
long
He
hair.
looked like Uncle Jesse if he had a meth problem.
Oh, now it's sexy.
Yeah, mood lighting. Yeah. Now we start the second half of the podcast.
There it is. Now, oh, that was all intro. Now let's really get into it.
Yeah, now we get the after photos. Now, but he went up and he like spilled his drink on the way up there.
Yeah, dropped all that ice out. Yeah.
And then I was just like, what are we? And then like he was talking shit to the bartender.
Yeah.
And the bartender's like, just do your set, man. Just do jokes. And I was like, oh, this is very awkward. Like, this is like when you catch your parents fighting and you're just kind of like, okay, all right. Like, you know? So that was, but I mean, none of that is Roscoe's fault. I'm trying not to like make it, because sometimes like you say something and then it gets clipped and then people are like, oh, why were you talking shit? And it's like, no, I wasn't. I was just, this is what happened. Yeah, like Roscoe's is a very fine establishment.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I was told that was the spot I was supposed to go to. One of the spots.
And I'm glad I did it.
Yeah,
you know, I'm glad I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that. And the guy that ran the mic was very cool. I don't remember his name, but
he was talking shit on Ronaldo.
Oh. All right, well, fuck you then.
Yeah, well, fuck the host then.
All right.
Fuck the host. I was like,
I don't remember your name.
Hey, do you know this dude? And he was like, nah. I was like, I'll fuck this motherfucker up and get on the plane. You won't even know what happened.
Okay.
But I didn't, you know. It's comedy. You can't fuck people up.
Yeah.
Inside the club. Outside the club, you know, when people try to, did you have, maybe you didn't.
Yeah,
There's a lot of racist undertones.
I got that vibe.
Did you really?
I got that vibe. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I got that vibe from the dudes I was on the bachelor party with.
Okay.
They're like born and raised in Texas.
Got it.
We had some drinks and then some opinions came out and it was like at one point I had to be like, hey,
settle.
Stop.
Yeah.
Not cool
at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I please.
Yeah,
this is very awkward.
Right.
Makes me not want to. And actually,
y'all motherfuckers is not Grover.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't say it. Yeah. All right, Oscar, calm down, Grouch.
Yeah, it was definitely a couple undertones. I was like, that came from somewhere.
Yeah.
And they weren't even on stage.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even on stage. I was like, this is.
Oh, I went to the Mothership. We watched the showcase.
Yeah.
And I was there with a bunch of muggles, like non-comics.
Yeah.
There was one guy they put your phone in the bags.
Yeah.
And he was freaking out about his phone being locked up.
Really?
Just like, he's like, why are they locking the phones up? Why are they locking the phones up?
I need to be on X at all times.
And I was just like, why does it matter?
Right.
And
because you can still have access to it.
Yeah.
You still have the phone.
Like, what if my wife calls? I'm like, then you leave the room.
Exactly.
And take the phone call.
Exactly.
Also, you're 400 miles away. So
And
what are you going to do?
Any person that goes to the comedy show, that's not nothing new.
Yeah.
You know, you see anybody at
Right.
this point, they're locking your phone up.
I was like, this is very typical, like very standard.
Yeah, this is very distant. Yeah.
I don't know. He started chirping like at the comics when they were on stage, and I just turned to him. I just had to like just put my hand on and I was like, stop.
Especially since you're a comic.
Exactly. I was like, dude, I'm trying to work here one day.
And then they'll be like, oh, that's the bouncer looking guy that brought with the fucking fuck boys that got tossed. Yeah.
I luckily,
because they remember faces.
Luckily, I had to go and do wild card, but I left way earlier than I should have because I was like, I can't. I don't want to be associated with this.
Of course.
And so I took off. But yeah, one of the comics on stage was like, he said something and then he said fag and he was like, oh, shouldn't it? And he was like, oh well, your phones are locked up. And then the guy was like, yeah, and it's bullshit. And I was like, dude. I mean, are you the president of the United States? Yeah. If you're the president, then yeah, you could have your phone because something might happen. But if you're not,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, who cares?
Right. Even if you're JD Vance, I think you still got your phone locked up.
yeah. JD Vance. Well, let's face it, he's not making decisions.
No.
I don't think anyone's ever been like, oh no, there's a problem in the world. Yeah. Let's call JD Vance. I'd rather call JD Power and Associates.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Oh man, call Top Dog. I think Top Dog had more.
You know what's crazy is that the vice president was in the Marines, and when he got out, we were the same rank.
Oh really?
I was the same rank, and
wow.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
all right, so it's like
you missed your calling.
Yeah,
you could be right next to Trump instead of me.
I didn't realize it's. I mean. It's good on him, I guess. He climbed the ladder.
He did something with himself, is what you're saying.
Before that, the closest a Marine's ever gotten to being president was Lee Harvey Oswald, I guess.
All right. I think we're running out of time now.
For anybody who doesn't understand the whole gist of the podcast, anytime somebody says something's the best, it's just their opinion.
Yeah.
There's no way to prove it, right or wrong. So I like to sit down and ask some people the best questions I can come up with. And a lot of them are like, best venue you performed at in Austin.
Best venue, I have to give it to Buzzmill.
Yeah.
I have to give it to Buzzmill. They had a great vibe, open 24 hours, coffee spot, and they had the balls to be on the same block as Starbucks. And I'm like, yo, that's gangster right there.
I loved Buzzmill. It was awesome. Food trucks, but like also like just all kinds of stuff.
It's like inside and outside, so people feel like if they need to smoke or vape or whatever or go fart and they can just be fine. You know what I'm saying? They had covered area. It wasn't crazy hot. The weather was perfect.
Oh, you say it wasn't. I was sweating. I looked at the man. I didn't stop sweating.
You wasn't even bombing. It was just hot.
Yeah. And I was like, do I even address this? I feel like I need to address this because it's like it looked like I had the nervous sweats.
Yeah.
Because I was just like constantly.
Right.
And I was like, am I a towel comic now? Do I need to be the guy that takes a washcloth on stage and like, woo, you know, like
bounce myself down. I'm killing it. Whoa.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh like Lord. It's the weather.
I felt like a Southern preacher. You know what I mean? Like, just dripping. But yeah, I agree. I think Buzzmill.
I definitely want to say Buzzmill.
Narbar was cool. I liked the stage.
It was fun.
The DJ kept throwing in like sound bites, but
that was like, just that night.
Was it?
Yeah, because I did Friday and there was none of that. It was a regular stand-up show. Whereas in that, what was that, Tuesday? I think we did it Tuesday.
Yeah,
that was Tuesday.
Yeah, that was Tuesday. First night there.
Yeah. So Tuesday. Yeah, I think that was just on that night.
Okay.
I think that was just on that night.
Yeah, because it was weird because you would do something and then all of a sudden you'd get like, the
fatality.
Like, fatality. I said something about
getting your head cut off, and I asked him when I went up, I was like, "Where was the fatality when?" Eric gave this great description of how you would murk himself.
Well, I talked about I was like at one point I talked about my grandmother or whatever, and then he played the hawk to a spit on that thing sound clip.
And some of the sound bites didn't even match up with the
and then he immediately was like, my bad, wrong one.
Give me a good heckle.
Right, if you're gonna do this, man, you gotta hit the right button.
You gotta hit the right button, And I just played with it after a while. He gave me the gun cock. I was like, I'm 50 Cent. I feel like now I'm at a 50 Cent concert. You know, give me a gunshot. Bah, 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 bah. So yeah, I was like, fuck Ja Rule.
All right, best set you had overall.
Best set. I would probably have to say at the BJ's Brewery. That's the page spot that in Temple.
Okay.
I think it was not only because you get paid, but I had actually more time. I got to do like 15 minutes and met cool comics, and also felt like I was doing a quote unquote showcase because I went up early to show who I was and what I could do, and I was able actually to meet their expectations and got future shows out of that. So yeah, I'll be coming back to Texas. Shout out to Josh Castro.
I would say either Buzzmill, like that one was pretty fun. I did I like it. I never had one of those sets that you were like, yes, this was the one.
I brought my tripod because I was going to tape. Every time I walked in the spot, I was like, I am not taping this.
Yeah,
I'm not taping this here.
Yeah,
and then I did. I had felt like I didn't do well as I wanted to at Vulcan, and that's the place that videotapes you anyway. And I was like, I don't need to see this. I don't need to see this video at all. You know.
The thing was, as weird as it sounds,
that's like, why people take pictures. Audio's not in pictures.
Yeah. A boomerang. Yeah. You can't tell. Yeah, if people are moving, it's like, are they laughing like, or are they shifting uncomfortably?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but it's as weird as it is. I wanted Ronaldo to see me like crush, because you know how like you want your buddies to see you like, yeah, you've only seen me at an open mic, and it's like I did okay, but it's like in a real show, I'm actually good at this. You know what I mean?
You are.
And I'm not saying that just like me, but like you too. Like you want to have that set where everybody's like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's why I fucks with you. Yeah, and I feel like with Ronaldo and. Not only he knows that you're good, that's why he wouldn't, even if it's an open mic, he still wouldn't vouch for you to get on all these other people. Yeah, because then he'd be like, "Oh, try, but don't mention my name."
Yeah,
reach out to this person and don't use my name.
He did tell me, he was like, "Hey, don't tell everybody I'll vouch for him when you go back to St. Louis."
Yeah, of course.
Like, okay,
yeah, just same thing. Like, don't tell everybody I'll let you stay on my sofa,
your couch. Yeah, but it was either Buzzmill or Wild Card.
I think Buzzmill was a good set for me too.
Wild Card, it makes me nervous because I like to plan.
Yeah,
I like to be like, okay, loose. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and Wild Card, you really can't do that because you pull a card out and it's like,
you're at the mercy
now
of
we
the
got to pivot.
Yeah, you're the mercy. Speaking at the mercy of the card for the shows, what did you think about the barking aspect for most of the shows?
I don't mind it. See, I don't mind barking.
Yeah,
I even told Ronaldo right before we started because we went to the University of Texas and walked around and barked, and I just looked at him and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not friendly. Yeah,
you promoted. You didn't bark.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bark is when people sitting outside the clubs yelling at people, "Come inside." It was so bad. I saw people barking. I saw people barking at clubs that they didn't even work at. I saw just that's what I was gonna say. The ratio of men to women out there. Like, there's so many more dudes than women out there. It is disgusting.
Yeah.
I saw, there's 900 dudes and one chick. I'm like, this is gross.
I felt bad for the girls because that one chick would get swarmed.
Yeah. Anytime. Yeah. I saw a guy that wasn't even working at a venue, walked up to 5 chicks. I'll buy y'all a drink. I'll buy y'all a drink. Just come with me inside this place. He's like, he didn't even work there. He was just barking at chicks that he didn't even at a spot he didn't work at. But yeah, there's that mentality of barking and trying to get people to come in. It's a grind.
But when we went to UT, I just turned to Ronaldo. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not friendly or looking, or this would go a lot better. But
his face is not welcoming.
Yeah, I was like, plus I was just I was sweating profusely because it was 100. For whatever reason, Austin doesn't get hot until 4:00 in the afternoon.
It stays.
And then but it'll be high 80s all day long, and then it hits 4, and it's now it's 106.
Yep.
Good luck.
Yep. Figure it out.
It's just okay.
Yeah.
But walking around UT, trying to talk to 20-year-old college kids, and they were like,
"Get out of here!
What are you? Okay, cop." You know what I mean? I'm like, no, it's just my haircut.
I don't want to come to your sting operation.
Yeah, but I actually I don't mind doing that. I don't mind. I've done it so many times for the show we put on here.
Yeah.
When the Cardinals games let out, I just stand by the gates and hand out.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty decent at it, where I can recognize who's gonna, if anybody has headphones on, just don't even try.
Don't bother.
You wait for someone to like make eye contact for a second, and then just don't even just be like, comedy show, here you go, comedy show right there, comedy show, like that.
You're right.
And you'd be surprised the number of people that are like, oh, okay, cool.
And talk to the least attractive woman in the group.
Yeah.
She's more likely to listen to your pitch, whereas in the hottest girl, she's used to always getting approached.
Yeah.
And then they get upset when you don't approach her.
Yeah.
And like, well, what was that guy talking about? Oh, it's this comedy show. I'm thinking about going. Like, oh, well, I'll think about going. Maybe he will give me my affirmation then.
Have you seen those videos where people, it's like on Instagram, there'll be a group of like 4 girls sitting at a table, and a guy will walk up and be like, I just wanted to say the 3 of you are absolutely beautiful, and then turns around and walks away, and they'll be like, oh, thank. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Which one?
And then they all stare at each other. They're like, "What the hell?" Like,
he doesn't do math. He don't know math.
It's funny to me.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
That's like when you just toss a grenade and walk away for the explosion
or crop dusting.
Best meal you had in Austin?
I have to say, Casino El Camino. They set the bar for burgers, bro. I don't know if because it was 1:30 in the morning. I don't know if it's because I was hungry, but they did it right. They did it right. It was so good. I didn't have any other burgers in Austin.
Well, next time the
phrase of Austin. Next time.
Yeah, I feel like that's anywhere you go though,
Yeah,
because it's like every time you go to a new city, you're like, oh,
you can't
I
do
did
everything.
this and this and this, and people are like, oh, you didn't go see this. And you're
no,
like, no,
you wasn't my itinerary fucking tracker.
Yeah,
you weren't my event planner for the weekend. If I would have went, I would, and then I would have done the bullshit you wanted me to do. And someone was like, oh, why didn't you do that? I was like, because I hired this guy to be my event planner.
Yeah, remember when I reached out to you and you ignored me?
Yeah.
And then after I came home, you were like,
after the fact.
oh, you should have done this. It's
after the fact. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jerk. What was your favorite meal? That fucking caramel shake. I know it. Yeah.
B. Terry. No. I don't know. Honestly, might be cheating a little bit, but I liked it when we went to IHOP because it was a good hang. Like, it was a
great
fun
hang. It was right after two or three shows for me.
Yeah.
And that was the first night you was in town, so it was good seeing you. And Megan Ronaldo's always a good fucking hang. Yeah, IHOP was, and I haven't had IHOP in a while.
I haven't either.
This how long it's been so long. I went home, to the Airbnb, didn't even warm up them pancakes. Ate them once I walked in, and they were still bomb.
I felt so bad because you went to the restroom and I grabbed your pancakes and I was walking out and I dropped one of the syrups.
Pause. The actual flour.
I was going to say flapjacks, but that makes it worse.
I grabbed your flapjacks.
I grabbed your flapjacks and
I dropped your syrup.
Yeah,
and I went in and doubled back and got the syrup. But yeah,
I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh,
no, you're fine.
No,
you're fine, bro."
I was like standing there
and
waiting.
I did not need an extra syrup. they fill up to the brim with them.
But I don't know. I just felt like. That's kind of the same thing, but I don't know. What was the best hidden gem in Austin?
You know what? I guess I could go back to the whole, because when me and Ronaldo did one of the only black rooms potluck, and we did potluck at 2 p.m. Started on time. I know what you're thinking. I know what you racist people thinking. Black room is going to start at 2:30, 4 o'clock. Nah, 2 o'clock started right on time.
4 o'clock is wild.
That is wild, bananas. But no, I started right on time. Shout out to Jordan. They gave me a spot on there, and their wings were pretty fire.
Oh, okay.
They had some really good ass wings. Actually, I'll show you the picture of them. So yeah, that was a good spot during the daytime, and nighttime I could give that to Casino El Camino.
Ronaldo kept bringing up Casino El Camino, and
you should have went.
I should have gone, and
Next
I told
time.
him, I was like, yeah, we can go wherever you want to go. You take me where you want to take me. Like this is your city now.
Yeah.
Like let me know. And we almost went, and then at the last minute we were like, no, let's grab Pete Terry's and go watch Pablo Francisco lose his career,
lose his fucking shit. Yeah.
Which I feel like if you do comedy long enough, you're bound to have there's definitely probably some substances involved in that specific crash out.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody's going to have one of those sets where they're like, this is just.
And if you don't, you're not trying.
Yeah.
Which I was like, scared of the bomb. Whereas in like they were like, oh, you haven't had the real bomb. I was like, oh, you know what? I do need to be trying harder.
What's that name of that old movie? Is like Dr. Zhivago, like Dr. Strangelove. How I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb, or something like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's the name of my comedy career.
Oh yeah, here are the wings right here.
Oh yeah.
You see all that extra.
Is that lemon pepper?
That's all lemon pepper,
Yep.
seasoned, garlic, all types of. Yeah, it was a sodium spike. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You'll get cholesterol.
That's when you get done and like your ring doesn't fit on your finger anymore.
That's why I don't
You're
even wear the ring no more. I could barely fit this watch. I'm on the last button. So yeah,
There have been times where I look at my watch and I'm like, "Ooh, this is feeling kind of tight today." Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, I'm in trouble.
I'm getting puffy.
Can I hear my heart? Hidden gem. What was the
hidden gem. Oh man, I think I don't know if it really counts as a hidden gem, but we went on a float trip which was just south of Austin, and it was a really cool, like just relaxing day. And it wasn't like it's not hidden because there were hundreds of other people there,
right?
But it wasn't something that I would have thought of, when going to Austin.
I definitely would not think about it. Even if y'all told me, I still wouldn't gone.
Really?
Float trip?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
Why?
Float trip?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
It's see, this is the thing. Like I'm trying to bring. We need to bring the cultures together.
And it's not even a culture thing. I'm just an allergic boy in a bubble type of guy.
Okay.
I'm just, it's not even because I can swim. I like nature. I like water. I like swimming. I swim in oceans and all types of stuff. But lakes and ponds and creeks, I watch Stand By Me. And I'm not. And Tim Dillon had me scared of the water in Austin.
Yeah, I did hear about, was it Lake Austin or whatever, where they've got those amoebas that like,
which made me feel like all water in Austin.
Yeah,
I didn't even drink out the faucets.
Yeah,
so
no, I wouldn't drink out of the faucets either.
Well, if I can't drink out of the faucet, I don't really love your city.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you drink out of the faucet in St. Louis?
Of course, I was born and raised here, and I'm okay.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm thinking and blinking. My heart's still ticking. I'm all right. I didn't have no hidden gems. Everything I went to was pretty much already publicized.
Yeah, I think I didn't really have any hidden gems either. But
I definitely felt like going to Creek in the Cave was definitely a great vibe.
It was a great hang.
It's a great hang, great vibe, great shows, great people.
I don't know if he would want me to. Well, we might cut this out later, but that night we were hanging out at Creek in the Cave. You, me, Ronaldo, Bobby, Zach, whatever.
The crew,
and Bobby was there, ringleader, like always, life of the party. And there was a pretty attractive girl who was wanting to get out of there, and Bobby was like, "Oh, hanging out," and I was like, "Hey, man, I love seeing you, but like."
Handle your business.
You should
or just go be friends.
Or go be friends.
Go be friends.
I'm sure they went and played Scrabble.
Whatever
and
that means.
A very lovely evening. Not suggesting anything.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, whatever. They could have knitted sweaters together. I don't know, but she definitely had this like look, and she was eyeing Bobby, and I was like, man, I would love to stay and hang out with you, but also.
I have this shirt that I need to knit.
Yeah. She clearly needs help watering her plants.
Yeah.
Please.
However sexual endo you want to take that or not take that.
I don't know. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, but I was just like, he's such a cool dude and such a like gentleman and stuff. And he was like, oh, no. We're going to hang out. We're going to have fun like that. And I'm like,
okay,
yeah, man,
fine.
Hey, I would love to hang out with you, but also, I mean, you might as well.
Of course.
Yeah. And we'll catch up again.
And it's 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Knit that shirt, brother.
Yeah.
Get that shirt done. Sew it up.
Yeah.
Sew it up, sew it down.
Go with God, my son.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Yeah. So shout out to Bobby.
Bobby J. He's coming to town soon.
Is he?
Yeah.
I always feel like I miss him. Mm-hmm. He's the kind of guy that pops up just randomly.
Yeah.
And after doing that drive from Austin and seeing how long it is, And then to be like, I'll look at Instagram and it's like Bobby's Jaycocks on stage at Creek in the Cave.
Yeah.
And then it feels like 6 hours later, he's like walking into Westport.
Yeah,
Like, what's up, everybody? It's
right.
like, how did you get here so
But
quick?
I think, and I tell this to other people and you and anybody else that's traveling, never post pictures of you out of town when you're out of town. Especially if you have, house and stuff and don't want nobody to break in your stuff. I'm not saying none of us are at a statue whereas, he's out of town, let's break into his crib. But normally if you have a vacation photos and pictures, post that shit when you're back home.
Yeah. I usually do that with like family
or at least
vacations.
Live the moment out, be present.
I try to wait 24 hours, like after something's done, and then post it.
Because you want to know if you had a good time.
Well,
you don't want to look back at your memories and be like, "Oh, fuck that night."
Not just that, but like I did a set at this place.
Yeah.
And then someone take a photo of me. I'll wait 24 hours and then post.
Yeah.
Oh, I was here and this was fun.
Yeah.
I don't like I that's why I'm so bad at promotion for shows.
Yeah.
Because I don't like telling people I will be at this place at this time at this date.
You
come get me.
You don't want to get that fade.
I know. Yeah. And
that's just like you don't want to come out of retirement.
That's my own paranoia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's terrible because that's what this job is.
Exactly.
Like, hey, come see me live. Blah,
Which is
blah,
why
blah.
you want to be like, man, the people that do the don't tell shows has figured it out.
Yeah.
They have cracked the code.
Which I don't know. You should. I'll give you their contact after this. But there's another podcast in St. Louis called Pure Leaf, and they did like a secret show kind of thing, but it was like an all black show. And they were like, yeah, we're going to send out the location day of or whatever. And I was like, oh, this isn't a don't tell. It's a say less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, this is a cool idea. They should keep doing this. You got any upcoming shows or anything you want?
Nah, actually, I got some hoes. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I'm here. Yeah. It's about that time. Everybody's pretty much open.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I had a real solid run.
Yeah.
Of about 3 months where I had like a show every weekend or a couple.
But the moment we say that, we get a text or a phone call or an email and then be like, can you do stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I
mean,
of
course.
I'll just sit here the rest of
any moment.
It's right here.
Any moment.
Send me a message.
Any moment. But yeah, we gotta be proactive and also wait. The universe got us.
Yeah. So hopefully.
Appreciate this, man. This was dope.
Yeah, you're welcome. And come back anytime, man.
Cool.
And if you I know we've talked a couple times, you want to maybe start your own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're welcome to come in and try it out.
Yeah. We'll keep the lights dark the whole time.
Yeah, we take the sexy lighting the whole time.
Awesome.
All right.
Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. See everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.